Well, hello, this is Camille Grant here at Mayfield. Just thrilled again to have one of our podcast series, and our keynote today is Elvis Cernjul. Elvis, welcome. Really pleased to have you here today. You're currently the CIO at Ubique Group, but I'd love it if you could just start by introducing a little bit of your background. You're a CIO of a major organization. How did you get to this role, and tell us what that journey looked like?
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me. Great to see you and talk to you again. So the Ubique Group, we're a collection of brands that source and sell commercial grade office and home products through channel partners like Wayfair, Walmart, Amazon, and others, along with business to business and direct to consumer. Prior to my tenure here at the Ubique Group, I served in a variety of roles ranging from Army Ranger, believe it or not,
Oh, cool.
through CIO and COO. My background includes about 35-ish years of leadership experience. 25 of those are within technology with a particular focus in the retail space. Got a degree in IT, an MBA, and I'm really close and on the cusp of finishing a master's degree at Brown University.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So when you were growing up, you wanted to be a CIO, or you just found your way there?
I wanted to be an Army Ranger,
Yeah,
and that path somehow led me to technology. So here I
awesome.
am.
Yeah, well done, and congratulations on a successful career.
Thank
So
you.
the objective of the call today is to really dive in on generative AI. We know this is a hot topic, but you're an operator of a large organization. You've got other things to worry about. We in the investment world think it's all the rage, of course, and arguably it could be. But how do you think about it from a priority standpoint? What's the lens of an operator, if you will?
I think for the industry, the retail industry, and our business itself, it's a top priority. It
Hmm,
provides such a leap in capabilities
hmm,
for a business that if it's not embraced in some capacity, the organization is going to just simply fall behind its peers. It is and has to be a part of every conversation that involves future business state. My roadmap here at the Ubique Group revolves around leveraging AI capabilities of any given platform. In my opinion, it's no longer a competitive advantage to those that could afford it, but it's quickly transforming into a commodity. And, machine learning and AI have been around for a while, but
yeah.
ChatGPT and Copilot and some others have really ushered in the accessibility
Hmm.
of AI, large language models.
Yeah, yeah, those are brilliant summary of, and I would concur. A leap in capability is a pretty big one. So, what are some of the early learnings? I presume you've been experimenting. You've done some personal testing with
Yeah.
GPT. I'm sure your teams are using it. I'm sure bosses or business units are coming to you with ideas. So, what are some of the early observations here?
Yeah, so we're thoughtfully, cautiously, yet excitedly approaching AI through ChatGPT. We just subscribed to Copilot.
Mhm.
We've been kicking the tires on Einstein through Salesforce and a
Nice.
variety of other solutions.
Mhm.
My initial learnings are, if I could pick a couple. One is that it's really difficult to get a peek behind the curtains on how companies that
Mhm.
are offering AI are using our data
Mm,
and
mm,
what true safeguards are in place.
mhm.
And the second one I would say is that the results are not always accurate, detailed, or polished. Yet, all that being said, we're tackling a few initiatives where AI is at the forefront of discussions, including new customer care processes, call center systems, content and copy, business intelligence, and my development team is actually using it quite a bit. It's important to note, especially when managing change of this magnitude within an organization, especially with AI, it's important to position it within an organization as a complementary service and not
Mm.
yet people replacer. So I've been trying to balance that message and honing it throughout the organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the term we hear of human in the loop being critical at this stage. But I'm curious if you could break down of the use cases you just described, and don't share anything confidential here, but
Mhm.
how would you think about metrics against these? So content and copy, customer care. You mentioned developer teams. I mean, are you able to ascribe sort of impact or realize impact in some sort of way? And I'm curious how you would think about designing an impact metrics thesis going forward based on what you've learned.
Yeah, so there's tangible key metrics that we're looking at, including efficiency gains, improved customer KPIs like net promoter scores,
Hmm. Hmm.
and one that's really that I've seen gain a lot of traction is time to market on
Hmm.
development through AI enhanced coding.
Hmm.
And one of the intangible ones that we're just now playing with is, or at least it's intangible on the onset to me,
Hmm.
is bubbling up business metrics through conversational AI. So
Hmm.
it's asking the data to reveal things that the business may not know to ask.
Ah, interesting. Huh. So that you said is sort of serendipitous in a sense, meaning that was discovered as you work through that. And how is that realized? I mean, how was it you, the team? I mean, because that construct of being able to open mind learning in an approach of a new pilot or something is a pretty innovative way of project deployment. I'm just curious how that kind of came about.
Yeah, we actually, me personally, when ChatGPT released advanced data analytics,
Hmm.
I started taking data from Fred, BLS, and some other publicly available data, thrown it into a spreadsheet along with Google Trend Words and
Hmm.
other available information. And I started asking ChatGPT to correlate the data
Ah,
and actually asked it to come up with the correlations that I specifically wouldn't even think to ask, and was absolutely amazed at the results that I was
wow.
providing. So I
Huh.
started showcasing it to other
Hmm.
key stakeholders within the business, and that led us to adopt a budget to pursue improving our insights data analytics hub and expanding that to a data lake with some generative AI capabilities built into it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the concept of ask me what I don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's
really
sort of
interesting.
open my mind here. I think that's pretty fascinating. That's a great illustration of truly driving innovation with technology. So one of the other questions I love to ask CIOs like yourself is, and particularly in an early market like this, there was a lot of investments happening with early stage companies. There's also a lot of investments in current technologies. You mentioned Einstein and others. So the existing providers, I'm sure, are coming to you with their AI offerings. Does that give you an opportunity to buy versus build? And is there a combination of that, or do you choose one or another? And how do you kind of think about the buy versus build? Because I know it's more than just designing and deploying, it's probably lifestyle or long-term management of things as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We're strictly focused on leveraging what our vendors offer.
Hmm.
So we're not staffed to create or train our own language models. It's not necessarily a differentiator for us.
Hmm.
And so yeah, we're closely partnering with our software providers and
Hmm.
platforms to provide the that means.
And are they giving you then an opportunity to convey your use cases, design toward your use cases, so to speak? I mean, if it's evolving that quickly, do you see sort of a receptivity on that side?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, especially with Salesforce, our partners there, along with the data lake that we just implemented. It's a pretty close relationship.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So then the next question really has to do with where do you think the obstacles lie? So if there's so much excitement, it's indeed a leap in capability, as you suggest. It's a new must-have. It's not just a competitive differentiator. Presume that you've got to run full force at it, but undoubtedly you see some divots in the field, meaning some hiccups or things you need to address. Is that a people issue? Is it a process issue? Is it a technology issue? Or how do you how do you bring all that together, I guess?
I think it's a little bit of all of the above. It's training, knowing how to ask AI the right questions
Hmm.
and how to identify errors. There's staffing. There's no position, at least in our organization, dedicated to AI. but that is definitely something I see changing throughout the industry within the next few years,
Mm-hmm.
almost like an evangelist or a champion, both that and also from a technology perspective as well.
Hmm.
And one of the key issues as far as gaps go is, or at least that I wrestle with, is how to best wrap guardrails around
Mm.
AI so that users aren't accidentally sharing sensitive information.
And is that just educating people on how to best use it, kind of with your opening point, which is how to ask the right prompts or questions, but also how to be a legitimate, effective user? Meaning, is it just educating the team?
It is. Yeah, we've had a few breakaways or educational opportunities for our
Mm,
employees, and we'll continue down that path as well. But I also struggle with how to wrap a technological guardrail around it as well,
mm.
so that we protect our assets such as our customer data.
Yeah, I mean, those are areas that we're watching too, and actually investing in. So let me ask then the last question, which is one that continues to come up in this concept of risk or responsible AI, and how to really manage an organization like yours to be responsible when it comes to leveraging AI. How do you think about that one, that definition, and how would you reword it? And then what actions should you take as a CIO?
Yeah, responsible AI, defining it is an interesting endeavor.
Yes.
For me, that includes data privacy and security, especially since now we're a global company, we have different regulations to adhere to. That includes what level of transparency with regards to using customer information should you share.
Yeah.
It's mitigating biases. I believe everyone in retail wants to ensure that things like recommendations, pricing, and
Hmm.
marketing strategies are fair and equitable across all demographics. I mean, the same thing, same type of concerns extend to internal consumption of data. We want to avoid a learning model that amplifies and doubles down on inaccurate results, which I've actually seen. But I'm really proud that we're championing ESG within our organization. And part of our thoughts about wrapping response, or at least my thoughts about wrapping responsibility around AI, is ensuring that we're considering the use of energy efficient AI technologies.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's really smart and comprehensive. So, Elvis, thank you so much for being our guest speaker today. Before I let you go, if there's any closing words you'd like to share with the audience on thoughts of the day.
Yeah, just that I think we're beyond FOMO, fear of missing out.
Mhm.
I think we're beyond this being a trivial idea. This is really something that we as technology leaders and business leaders need to embrace and figure out how to best leverage for the continued success of our respective businesses and departments.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and really appreciate you being a special guest, as I just said. So, thank you to Elvis Cernjul for being our guest speaker today, CIO of Ubique, and this is Camille Grant here at Mayfield. Thank you again for listening to the CXO of the Future podcast today.
Thank you.